balmy evening on a rubber plantation suddenly has its peace shattered by a gunshot ringing out on a veranda. And that's how The Letter from 1940 begins, and that's how it hooks you. It isn't exactly noir, more of a melodrama, a genre that turns emotion into spectacle and makes the sublimated forces of guilt and desire visible. But everything about it feels steeped in the same darkness. In this offshoot essay series called Interval, I look at films that cross-pollinate the chosen genre with other styles. Like the main essays, I focus on motifs and themes that sometimes get overlooked. But this time through films that don't really sit neatly inside the genre. They're hybrids, where one form shades into another. Elegantly directed by William Wyler and based on a play by Somerset Maugham, The Letter begins in British-occupied Malaya. Leslie Crosby, played by Bette Davis, shoots a man named Hammond and calmly claims self-defense. Her story is neat and rehearsed, and the rest of the film tests how long that composure can hold. From the moment she starts speaking, Leslie performs. Every word and every pause is deliberate. The man she kills hardly exists beyond the opening few minutes. Hammond appears, then vanishes, his absence casting a shadow over everything that follows. Noir often revolves around what is missing, and here the missing man shapes every emotion. When Leslie's asked to give her version of events, Wyler stages it like theatre. The camera moves behind the men listening to her, their backs turned to us, all of them facing an open doorway. For a moment we're placed among them, part of this small audience, watching her words bring the scene to life.
Just stood there looking at me, and his eyes were all funny. "I'm not going," he said. Then I began to lose my temper.
The open door becomes a kind of portal, the point where private memory turns public, or what she claims to have endured is projected into the minds of others. Wyler threads the film together with three recurring images. Moonlight turns the night white and watchful, shifting in and out of cloud as if deciding what to expose. Lace, delicate but full of holes, frames Leslie's world of privileged refinement while hinting at its fragility. And those angled shadows divide everything into compartments, turning the frame into a skewered pattern of beauty and composure. A world of elegance built on manner and restraint. Leslie keeps her hands busy with crochet, the same looping precision that surrounds her in lace. It's discipline made visible, beauty built from repetition. The colonial world reflects that same impulse towards order. Authority, hierarchy, surface appearances, they all hold back everything that can't be spoken. Before long, the calm composure of Leslie's story begins to unravel. A letter she wrote to Hammond on the day of his death reappears, threatening to disturb everything she's claimed since. Words, which have always been her means of command, now turn against her, and the story then introduces Mrs. Hammond, the dead man's secret Eurasian wife. Her presence changes the film's tone completely. Wyler constructs her entrance as a visual echo of Leslie's earlier testimony. Again, the camera looks past the others towards a doorway, but this time a tasseled curtain replaces the open door. Where Leslie once filled the empty space with words, Mrs. Hammond enters it in silence. We hear wind chimes before we see her, their sound breaking the stillness. It's delicate but unsettling, as if the chimes had been stirred by an unseen force. The moment is charged by something beyond the room, a presence that slips through the air before Mrs. Hammond even appears. She's composed, watchful, and for the first time, Leslie has no control over what happens next. Gail Sondergaard plays Mrs. Hammond with calm, deliberate stillness. As Leslie once described her,
She was all covered with gold chains and bracelets and spangles. Her face like a mask.
but it's Leslie who's been masked all along. Mrs. Hammond's silence carries more weight than all of Leslie's words. It holds not just grief, but the weight of prejudice, a reminder that Hammond's betrayal was not only personal, but social. The film begins and ends with the moon casting an indifferent light on everything it touches. And what began as a story of self-defense becomes something colder, a portrait of a society sustained by deception and decorum. And these elements of beauty and refinement now expose what they once sought to hide. The light, the lace, the perfect manners, they all become part of the same design. Beneath them lies the truth that cannot stay buried, the silence that has been waiting to speak.